All right, hello everyone. We are live. Welcome. Welcome to the stream, the Friday stream. I was going to try to use my phone for the broadcast, but I was having audio trouble. Let me turn that off. I'm still hearing an echo. I just want to get started on time. There we go. That killed the echo. Welcome everyone. Another Friday, another webinar. I like doing these. I hope you guys like watching them. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I have some stuff prepared. Let's see, I'm just, so today I'm traveling, not in my office. I'm in the California office. Today I'm in the block Carlsbad. I came here so I could have a good internet connection. I've been over here in California this week, mostly working from my house over here, from the place I rent while I'm here. So it's great being in the cool weather, fresh sea air. Nice to get out of the Arizona heat, take a break from that. So it's fun doing these streams on the road. So this is, like I said, the first one I've done on the road. So I have just my laptop I'm working off of, my MacBook Pro, and I don't have extra screens connected to it. So when I share my screen here, you're going to see, boom, see everything I see. Let's get over into up there. Let's get into this PowerPoint. So I got an agenda for today's stream. So first, I'm going to start with the welcome. Welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us. As part of the welcome, some housekeeping tips I want to do. If you like these streams, make sure you leave a like below. If you have any questions you'd like to see us discuss, leave a comment, let us know while you're watching it. Or if you're watching this on the replay, welcome from the future. Thanks for tuning in the future. You can also leave a comment on things that you would like to hear about on this. We'll look at the comments on these videos and we'll talk about those. We're going to be doing some different types of shows on these Friday webinars. May also change the time as well. So the other type of show we'll be doing is a guest show, is what I've been calling it. Bring on guests. The name, I think we're going to call it, is the Live Professional Network. So the idea is to bring in people that I get asked questions a lot, like if I know a good financial advisor or someone that can help with the legal area, that's something that I don't do, or a tax question. So I want to start bringing in some of these different people, some of my friends that work in these areas, and we'll do a live show. We'll ask them some questions. So we'll start off, I'll ask them the questions, kind of relevant to their area. And then we'll open it up at the end to a live question and answer. So the goal is that we can build a live professional network where whenever I get asked a question, if I know a good person or someone or a company that can help in a certain area, I can refer to the video and you can meet that person, see if you like them, get some of the knowledge that they share in that video to see if that helps you. Or if you need more help, you'll know some companies that you can work with. So I look forward to that guest show. If there any guests you'd like to see, let us know. Okay, now review of common topics. So this is going to be kind of a little bit challenging because I can't tell if you guys are leaving any comments or anything like that, because that screen is memorized. So as part of this webinar, what I like to do every week is I ask the attorneys and ask in the office if there's some common things that have been coming up, common questions that we're getting, things that we can clear up. So one of the things I was asked, they said, can you go over choosing a trustee? We have a lot of people that are dealing with that when they're designing their plans. They need help choosing a trustee. And then we're also going to talk about what to do if you are the trustee. So if you are in charge of the plan. So we're seeing lots of people in that situation as well, where they're in charge and wondering what to do. So we'll do a quick overview of those topics. We've talked about these things in detail, some of the last streams, so you can go back and watch those if you want to get deeper onto these topics. Today's topic, what I want to focus on is how to preserve your digital photos and videos. So you take pictures, unless you're doing it on film still, they're probably digital in some way or another. So either they're on your phone or your camera, or maybe they're on a hard drive or a little disk, little flash drive or something. But we're going to talk about how you preserve those things. Okay, so what is a trust? Let's start there. Start with the basics. Always a good place. So a trust, it's a legal document where a person who is called the trustor, we use this briefcase to show that, there's a trust. So the trustor creates the trust. The trustee is the person that manages the assets for the benefit of the beneficiary. So in the trust, you determine who the successor trustee is, who will manage things after you're gone, and who the beneficiaries will be and what the conditions will be. So how do you choose a good person or a good company in this trustee role? So that's what some of our paralegals and some of the people in the office that wanted me to cover this again. So how do you choose it? Well, this can be a trusted family member, maybe a brother, maybe an uncle, maybe someone like that, maybe a parent, or it could be a company. It could be your financial advisor, see if their company serves in that role, maybe your CPA or the company that they work with. Or we have a company, we have through Mont Legal, you can name us to serve as the trustee, the successor trustee in your plan. So how do you choose this person? I guess, like the name implies, someone you would trust, someone that you would trust to carry out your wishes. Now, what I tell people as well is they don't have to be a legal expert. They can hire us or someone like us. They can hire an attorney to help them with their role as a trustee and tell them what their legal duties are, that they need to report to the beneficiaries, help them get a tax ID number for the trust, and establish the bank accounts. We can help with all of those things. So you don't have to choose someone that is going to be able to handle all of those things. Just someone that you would trust that could hire someone like us, and that by hiring a professional, they could get the job done. That's usually my recommendation if possible. So if you have a person in your life that you would trust for that role, and then have them hire us or an attorney. And I feel like that's the most efficient way to choose a trustee of your trust, a successor trustee. What I mean by efficient is you'll get good service, your family member will get good service, and that will minimize the cost. Now, if you name a bank or a financial institution, a lot of times the fees can be very high if they're willing to serve at all. A lot of banks and financial institutions, what we're seeing is they have minimums where they don't want to serve as a trustee unless, a lot of them want to see at least 5 million in assets in the bank. So most people don't have that. So it can be a challenge to try to figure out what a good company alternative is. Okay, so that's how you choose a trustee. As part of the personal family legal session, when you meet with one of our attorneys, we can help you with that process. All right, so what do you do if you are the trustee? So if you're a trustee, we went over this last week, or I think this is last week's. So number one, define the players. Decedent is a person that's passed away. The fiduciary. In a trust, it's the trustee. In a will, it's the personal representative. Beneficiary, or maybe there's multiple beneficiaries. Who gets the stuff? So what do you do if you're the fiduciary? Step two is figure out what are the assets. Is there retirement accounts, life insurance, bank accounts? And then figure out what controls the assets. Is there beneficiary designations? Are they owned by the deceased person? So you would say they're in the name of their estate. Or are they owned by a trust? Or the beneficiary could name a trust, possibly. So figure out what controls, if it's in the name of the estate, in the name of the deceased person, it will be controlled by their last will and testament, if they have one. that will name the beneficiary and the personal representative. Or if there's no will, Uncle Sam's got us covered. The government provides what's called laws of intestate succession. Intestate means no will. So there's a default order of who the beneficiaries would be in that situation. Okay, so after you figure out who the players are, what the assets are, what's controlling things, then what you need to do is safeguard the assets and start an accounting. So prepare an inventory of all the assets, collect everything, determine the valid debts and pay the valid debts, and then share an accounting with all the beneficiaries and divide the assets. Okay, so let's get into that. Go back here, see if we have any comments before I move on. Okay, I don't see any comments yet. If you guys have any comments, go ahead and leave them. I'll check back. Okay. So how to preserve digital photos and videos. This is a topic that I enjoy, something that's interesting, something that I have been trying to figure out in my personal life for a while. So we're going to go through that today. So step one, create them. You got to create the digital photos and videos. So take the selfie, take the video. I know it doesn't come natural to me to take photos and videos, but I enjoy having them. So it's something that I've been trying to do more and trying to create more of them. Now, after you create them, then you can figure out what you want to use them for. Sometimes you create things for a specific purpose, but I would say just take the videos, take the photos, then figure out what you want to use them for. If you want to share them, lots of options now. So you can share on either Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, YouTube, or whatever else. Or if you want to preserve them. So what do you do if you want to preserve the memories? So your storage. Let's go to a video. So storage. Let's see if this works. I don't know if the sound will work or not. Let's try it. Yeah, so how do you find these files? All right, where did all the files go? So where are the files? So if you want to preserve these memories, where are the files? Uh-oh. Let's stop that. Back to PowerPoint. Hope you guys aren't getting too sick watching this, and hopefully the audio worked on those videos. So yeah, if they're on your computer, your phone, if they're on a disk, hard drive, that's the first thing is how are people going to access them? Dongle life, gonna have a converter. My computer only has these new USB-Cs. They're not very new anymore. But what do you do if there's USB? Or we see things in floppy disks sometimes. So if you're storing things physically on a drive, that's just one of the considerations. Now, another consideration is when you're creating video and is how big of a file are you creating? If you're recording in 4K, that can eat up storage pretty quick. And even at 1080p HD, it can also eat up the storage in your phone pretty quick. So, okay, so what do you do when your computer or your phone is full? So You can either go to a disk or a drive, get them off the phone into another place, off the computer to another place, or so you have accessibility issues there. You got to be conscious of, how are you storing them? Whatever we're doing, who knows what the kids will be doing in the future, how they watch their hologram videos or whatever they'll be doing. I don't know if they'll still be using USB-Cs or whatever. Software is another place you can download them to. So you can get things off your phone or computer, put them on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, a place like that. So they'll store them for you. Now you want to be conscious of the licensing agreement. So if you put photos and videos in those places, who owns it? Who's allowed to use it? If you actually read those agreements, it may surprise you. Who can use your stuff and how it can be used. And you also want to consider what happens to these accounts after you're gone, after your death. So if you want these photos and videos to live on, and you just put them in Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, those places, then their contracts are going to be controlling of what happens to it after you pass away. Now, usually these are single user licenses, which end upon death. So companies may have what's called an online tool. It's called that in the law, in the Digital Asset Act. An online tool refers to when a company provides a way to designate what happens to the account. Facebook has legacy settings, which are a good example of an online tool. You can go into the legacy settings in Facebook and choose what you want to have happen to your Facebook account if you were to pass away. You can choose someone that could manage your page and things like that. Your other choice is you can use a digital asset trust. This is one of the Mott legal tools, part of the process, our estate planning processes. But the digital asset trust is a way to give more specific instructions over these accounts. You can instruct to copy, share, or delete. Other things you can do once your phone or computer is full is you can pay for more cloud storage. Apple, the Apple iCloud, Google, Amazon, those are some of the big ones. So those are some of the choices there. So, all right, something's beeping in my ear, just making sure the broadcast is okay. Okay, so your iCloud accounts or any web-based cloud storage, you can preserve those with a digital asset trust as well, or an online tool. So online tool is if they provide a good way for you to transfer it, or a digital asset trust. All right, so here's my strategy. So I create most content, most photos and videos on my phone. That's just the easiest. So what do? I pay for some additional storage, some of that iCloud storage. I tried to find a way for a while, where I could download and get things off of my phone into another place. The way that the iCloud works, though, is it keeps basically everything, and there's options where you can keep a low resolution part on your phone and the original size in the cloud. But I found there's not really an option, or at least that I'm aware of, where you can keep certain things in the cloud and only some things on your phone. Because if you delete it on your phone, then it usually deletes it in the cloud as well. So I fought it for a long time, but eventually I ended up just paying for more storage there so that my camera roll backs up. Now, to minimize the storage of what backs up, because I take a lot of videos, I like to play with my cameras, so I'll even use the 4K and some of that high resolution stuff. But what I do is I'll put the longer videos that I make to YouTube, and then I'll delete the extra photos and videos. So I may take a bunch of photos and a bunch of different videos, testing out the conditions, testing out lighting, whatever. Then at the end, I'll try to go through my camera roll and clean it up. By end, I mean after I've edited whatever video to YouTube, or maybe a little Instagram edit or something like that. I also set the default videos to 1080, 1080p, 30 frames per second. That's still really good, still super clear, and really it's hard to tell a difference unless you're watching on a big screen, the difference between 1080 and 4K. So I usually shoot in 1080, 30, just so I can shoot a lot of videos and not have my phone fill up. There's certain things, depending on what I'm shooting, if it's an action shot or something like that, then I may shoot 1080 60 a little faster, or but it's going to be double the storage, because it's going to be 60 frames per second instead of 30. And sometimes I'll film in 4K as well, especially if I want to zoom in. If I know I want to zoom in later, I'll film in 4K. And then when I'm editing the video, that allows to zoom a little bit, to zoom in closer and still get good resolution. But I know it's going to be a lot of storage. All right, digital camera. I have a Canon M50 mirrorless camera. I use that as well. So what I do when I'm taking the content off of there is usually I'll put it on YouTube. I can show you guys my YouTube. I have that pulled up as well. So I use YouTube just as a place to store family videos. So a place to offload the long videos off my computer and get it to another place. So I have, here's a photo shoot we did in the Superstitions with my kids. This was some trips I've taken with my kids and things like that. I even have some of the very first videos that I made. This yellow pad video. This one has 1,000 videos. This power of attorney explained in 20 seconds. People like that one. All right, so that's how I use YouTube, just to offload long videos, a place to store them. In YouTube, you can make them unlisted so that people can't see them. But understand, I take the position, everything digital, it's out there, everyone can see it forever. Nothing's really secure if you put it in the digital world, but I'm okay with that, the stuff that I share and upload. And then, so some of the pictures I take on my camera, I'll want those on my phone. I like keeping the highlights on my camera roll, so I can scroll through on my phone, and I have albums saved in there. So some things that come off of my camera will end up going into the camera roll. And then the other things will go, all the footage on my camera that I want to save, I put it on an external hard drive. Okay, so where do I put that external hard drive? So I have a safety deposit box, which is owned by my revocable trust. So the box is owned by my revocable trust. I store my revocable trust. I keep it in my office and everyone knows where it's at. And then there's also a key to my safety deposit box. So my successor trustee would be able to access those items. So if you're storing things physically on disk, on a hard drive, you need to have a way to pass those. So a place to store that information, and then a way that people can access that information if you want to. I use the safety deposit box owned by the trust. Some people, they have just a safe and maybe their kids will know the password to it, or maybe you have a family algorithm where you guys can solve the codes that way. I saw that once. I thought it was pretty cool. But yeah, have a way to transfer things physically if you're storing it that way. Then the digital asset trust can direct what happens to the information that is stored electronically. So my digital asset trust, it directs that my iCloud, my YouTube, and Google Drive, that all of those would be copied to my children. So that way, all of those memories get passed on. There we go. Stop sharing that. Back here. All right, so thanks everyone for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the broadcast. Hope you learned something about where to store your pictures and videos. The most important thing is just create them. You know, we have these really cool devices, our phones, make it possible to shoot HD video, edit them. So it's really cool what we can do. I really like seeing what my kids make. So it's really cool to see them making videos and editing things. So make sure you preserve that content either physically on a disk or a place like that and have a way to pass it. Or if you keep it digital, a digital asset trust is the best way to go. Let's see, let me put some of our banners on. There we go. So if you want to schedule your free personal family legal session, which is a meeting with one of our attorneys, they can help you design an estate plan. As part of that is it's preserving your digital life. They can help you, or we can help you come up with a plan of what to do with your photos and videos to make sure that the right things live on. Thanks everyone. We'll see you next time. Look for our guest shows coming up soon with other guests. Topics that you'd like to hear about, leave a comment below. Guests you'd like to see, shoot us an email or DM. Thanks, guys. Hope everyone has a great week and weekend.